with our chief guest to sound out his willingness to come and participate in Founders Day, I'd just finished reading Patriots and Partisans as part of my continuing education in my new home. I'd seen him on numerous YouTube videos, just like the one that we're creating today, when I was researching the school and the country from Germany. I recognized in him an enormous warmth and intelligence, coupled with a style of delivery that helps to bring about an understanding and an interest in everybody listening to him. He told me that he'd be willing to come back to school, but on the condition that he didn't just come for the speeches, but for the weekend, so that he could talk to the boys, meet the weekly team, and most definitely umpire the cricket match. Well, quite honestly, those were the only conditions under which we really want to have chief guests. So, Ram accepted the invitation, and we're just delighted to have you with us tonight, sir. I know that the boys at the Masters had a fantastic time with you this afternoon. And the people who met you in the library yesterday were delighted to walk away with your signed books. They learnt a great deal. So it's with great excitement that I welcome Ram to the stage, so that those of us who didn't get to hear from him this afternoon can learn more. Ram, please.
Thank you, Matthew. My old friend and classmate Sunil Punjal, members of the board, parents, guardians, visitors, above all, old boys, above all, current students. When Matthew rang me up several months ago, among the attractions was returning to Chandbagh, which is, in my view, and as those of you who read my books and columns know, I'm never short of opinions, especially controversial opinions. And Chandbagh is, in my view, and this is going to arouse some controversy for sure, the second most beautiful residential campus in India. Indeed, not the best, not the most beautiful, the second most beautiful residential campus. Indeed, it's only the second most beautiful residential campus in Dehradun. I grew up in the most beautiful one, the Forest Research Institute. Well, the Chandbagh used to be the FRI. So I moved from the most beautiful to the second most beautiful. And the memories of Dehradun in October, the light, the sudden falling of the darkness, and of course the fact that however beautiful the FRI was, there was no Rose Bowl there. So I accepted with the conditions that Matthew has mentioned. My talk is not going to be about school for the most part, but I'd like to begin with some of my own memories and possibly conclude with one memory as well. So I was born in Dehradun in the FRI. My father and grandfather were both scientists there. So I'm a child of Dehradun, later on a child of the Doon School. And my first memories of the school are from well before I joined. Sunil mentioned my love of birds. My first ever publication was called Birds of New Forest. It was in the news letter for bird watchers. It was published in the year 1970. And it was in part based on bird watching trips I had taken with Gurdial Singh before I joined the Doon School. So Guru was a friend of my father's and my uncle's, and we would go bird watching together. I called him 2 days before coming here because I wanted his blessing and his benediction. Because as many of you will know, he was absolutely an exemplary scholar, person, mountaineer, teacher, patriot, and much else. So there was Guru who had influenced my love of nature even before I joined the Doon School. Then my obsession with cricket was also mentioned. Between the years of between the time I was 11 and the time I was 20, I was consumed by one overarching ambition: to play cricket for India. Now, the reasons I didn't achieve that ambition were two. One, there were about 60 million Indians of my age with the same ambition. And second, I simply wasn't good enough. But that ambition was kindled in me by growing up in the FRI, watching cricket matches in the wonderful IFC ground in front of my house, and the two great heroes of Dehradun cricket in the mid-1960s, when I was 7, 8, 9 and watching my first cricket matches and scoring my first cricket matches, were R.P. Devgan and Sheel Vora Bond, teachers of the Doon School. The three pillars of my life, professional life, have been nature, cricket and literature. So nature and cricket I owe to Doon School masters from before I became a student. And literature and history also in some ways, I guess, I owe to the school. I am told, according to Wikipedia, I was an editor of the Doon School Weekly. I have no recollection of this. Though I wrote a great many articles. Charlie Kandhari would get hold of me because I suppose the editors, the officially nominated editors, were lazy or incompetent or both. So Charlie would get hold of me on Tuesday in the geography class and say, Ram, I want an article from you by tomorrow. So there are a few articles there, which may have led to this misconception that I was an editor of the weekly. But I did edit a lovely magazine called History Times, which was started by a little Welshman called Arthur Hughes, who taught English here for many years. And for those of you who believe in destiny being decided by the Doon School, let me tell you with a touch of pride, I hope legitimate pride, that the two editors of the History Times in the years 1970-71 were Amitabh Ghosh and Ramachandra Guha. And there was a third, who in some ways was certainly a more remarkable Doon School boy than either Ghosh or me. This was Ambassador Gautam Mukhopadhyay, recently retired from the Foreign Service, who did three of the most difficult assignments any diplomat would do. He served in Syria, Afghanistan and Myanmar. And he now writes in the Hindu, and he will surely write a book 90% inspired by his experiences as a diplomat in conflict-torn countries, but 10% inspired by what he learned as an editor at the History Times. So I'm happy and honored to be here, but I want to talk to you not about our school, but about our country, and particularly about what it means to be an Indian. Robert Blackwell, a former US ambassador to India, once said, and I quote, "India is a pluralist society that creates magic with democracy, rule of law and individual freedom, community relations and cultural diversity." I'll repeat. India is a pluralist society that creates magic with democracy, rule of law and individual freedom, community relations and cultural diversity. What a place to be an intellectual. I wouldn't mind being born 10 times to rediscover India. What a place to be an intellectual, or a writer, or a scholar, or a traveler. I sometimes joke that had I been an ordinary citizen, I'd have probably liked to have been born in Denmark or Sweden. You know, safe, pure air, no harassment, no police harassment,